Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Biro.
And this is Monday Coffee with Jexo, where we scan through the last weeks and updates from across the Atlassian world. The links for the sources links for the topics we are going to discuss today are all linked in the description or in the comment based on the platform where you are. So the first news we have today is...
Yeah, so I'll go first. The first thing we're talking about today, and let me put it up here, is the announcement about the basically Atlassian specialization. I can never pronounce this word. Specialization program. So last year, Atlassian introduced the cloud requirements for partners, but also put more focus on things like accreditation and certification rather than reselling products. So this announcement feels like a natural progression towards the value-added approach. Partners will go through proper training and accreditation in the Agile at Scale, Cloud, and ITSM. And Atlassian plans to offer benefits, recognition, and incentives for partners that get specialized. Now, not every single partner needs to go through this program, but the ones that are interested in Agile at Scale and ITSM and the cloud practices will probably go through this.
So it's more for like a solution partner companies.
Yes, for solution partners, 100%.
Right.
And again, all of this, like Atlassian plans to list these accreditations, these skill sets on their platform. So customers that have a need for for example, ITSM expert will be able to find one in their region from a list of solution partners.
Oh, then that definitely worth doing, right? So you get people get to the right experts at time. That's quite good.
Yeah, true. Okay, yeah, that's kind of it from that announcement.
Good. So for the next one, I have here meatless challenge again. So the last week I was talking about the meatless badge that you can earn this month on user community when doing this month's challenge. And the meatless team seems to turning out into proper campaign. So the last week, Atlassian was sharing this meatless landing page where you can where you can learn how to use Confluence to reduce team meetings and make your team more productive. There's some interesting numbers over here. They're claiming that 67% of workers say that too much meetings time distracts them from doing their job. And also 71% of managers say that meetings are unproductive and inefficient. So these numbers itself just scream that there is something wrong going on and that needs to be improved. I really recommend watching the video that is on the landing page. It's quite funny and it's full of puns, like, for example, excellent collaboration. And you can also find a bunch of useful articles about the meetings and how to improve them on the landing page. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, Nikki is on a secret mission to get us all to eat less meat. So watch out, you're gonna hear more about
Have
it.
less meetings, I think.
Okay, right. So okay, so let me move to the next one. The Atlassian Access webinar. Yeah, for those who might not know much about it, Atlassian Access is the product for centralized security and user access management across cloud products. So with Access, you can use things like SSO, LDAP, and so on. There have been several new features introduced lately, and the post highlighted here announces a webinar that's happening actually tomorrow. What's day? 17, right? Yeah, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. So if interested, do register and attend last minute. So in this webinar, Sandy and Jonathan from Access team will talk about these shiny new features as well as use cases for them.
Such a secretive post, I couldn't figure out what exactly it is about when I was reading it.
Well, that's because you probably haven't heard much about Atlassian Access. It's quite an, I wouldn't necessarily call it enterprisey feature, but you have the need for this feature, I would say, when you're at a potentially bigger scale and you need a bit more administrative control over product access and things like that, and you use tools like LDAP for access.
Makes
Okay,
sense.
right, tell us about dark mode.
Yes, so exciting features over here in Trello. We didn't talk about Trello for quite a while, but there is this exciting feature coming out for the Android and iOS mobile apps, and it's dark mode. Everyone loves dark mode, so I guess we all can't wait for it to see it in production. The rollout will happen on 26th of May, so stay tuned and check out the app after this date to have a look on how the dark mode looks like. And very, very quick mention, this release also brings buttons that you created to do the butler's automation into the tickets from where you created them in the mobile, and you will now see them on the web, and you will now see them on the mobile. So then you can run the automation with a simple click from your phone. So that's definitely interesting as well.
Yeah,
When
that's
I was
pretty
reading
cool.
this, I got so excited that maybe there is going to be a dark mode on Trello. I'm not even sure there is. I think it's all light. But this is just for the mobile apps so far.
Yeah, okay. Hopefully one day will come. Well, at least we have dark mode in one of our apps, so at
I'm
least
still waiting for Jira, still waiting for that. Well, there is a dark mode on Jira app, on mobile app, and there is a dark mode on the mobile, on the desktop Jira application, which you can download. I don't know if you saw that. So this has dark mode, but the actual web app doesn't yet.
Okay. Yeah, it's not as easy as you and I know it's not.
True.
Okay, so another feature this time for service desk. Ooh. So you can now create queues under a section called team priority, and this section sits under your starred queues and above the other. Uh, I think this is this new this new section in your queues will be a great way to tag common queues of common interest, basically things like SLA breach or incidents can be in that team queue. This feature so this feature announcement also mentioned, so this is probably important for those that use service desk, service management. All of your other queues will be automatically moved to the team priority section. And if you don't want some of them, if you want some of them to stay in the others section, then you'll have to drag them manually to the previous section. There's one new change that I'm not yet on board with, which is removing the tickets counter for queues that are in other. We'll probably need to move everything that we have in other into teams, just because, not necessarily because they all need to be in teams and none in other, but I think the majority of the queues that we have currently, at least for us, we rely on seeing how that counter of how many tickets are in that queue. Yeah,
That's really interesting change.
yeah, I don't know if I find it a bit weird. Maybe to enable focus on your starred section and your team priority section and
Mm.
kind of like take away from the other. I don't know why that decision. But for us, however, the feature is not yet enabled, so there might be a gradual rollout. So if you don't see it, it's probably because they've not yet enabled the team priority in your service management instance.
That's some interesting news, interesting improvements. Okay, so the last topic which we are going to discuss today is the article of the week again. We are always finishing with the article of the week, so this time it's an article from Jira's blog, work-life balance blog, called 7 Ways a Hybrid Work Model Could Fail and How to Avoid Them. So in the article, they mentioned that many readers and the companies today are reimagining how they will work in the future, if their employees are going to work from office, fully remote, or they will go with the hybrid model. And Atlassian ran the poll where they collected over 7,000 votes, and the result was that the majority of the people, which was 62%, would like to work under a hybrid model, and 32 would like to work from home only. So there was a really, really little percentage, I think about 6%, of the people who would like to work from the office only. And this article is structured as a pre-mortem, which is like a post-mortem, but before anything really goes wrong. So you can learn the main themes, what could go wrong when companies when they will reimagine how they work, and the tips on how to avoid them. So it's a really interesting read. I really enjoyed this, so I definitely recommend going through this article.
Yeah, and I think we've seen a few materials issued by Atlassian in this kind of like working from home, moving to remote first approach. So it's really helpful that their experience is now kind of like trickling down into these useful articles and materials.
There was a one quite sad statistic in the article, which kind of saddened me, was that there was some study that showed that 1 in 4 U.S. women was thinking of leaving the workforce because they're not coping with work together with the parenting, and they feel like they're not coping both, so they want to do just one, which is quite sad. And the article then continues into how that could affect, how it can have effect on the diverse teams, because even now it's very hard to hire women in technology, and after this pandemic or during this pandemic, it might get even worse.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting to understand a bit more about, because being part of a smaller team, we don't get exposure to some of these situations. So yeah, it's really useful to read these articles to kind of like expand your point of view, to put it like that.
So we are closing it up on sad news, but definitely go through the article. Hopefully, there will be something that will help you to cope with these problems.
Hopefully, we'll definitely have something to finish on a high end next week. That's about it for now for news about Atlassian. I hope you enjoyed Monday Coffee with Jexo, whether you're watching it now live or recorded later. Just a reminder, the links to all of the topics we discussed are in the description or the comments, depending on where you're looking from. So don't forget to check them out. Don't take Nikki and I's word for it. Go and read and understand on your own. If you have any suggestions on what we should be talking about next week, let us know in the comments. And we'll see you next Monday at 9:30, hopefully, and have a great week.
Have a lovely week. See you.